Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? My babies, my loves, my companions, my friends. How is your Sunday morning going? I hope it's going glorious. Well, I woke up this morning and I'm going to name this video My Truth because I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me and why I'm here and why some of you are led to me. When I was born, I was given up, but I still remained in the family, okay? My great-grandparents raised me. They did the best that they can, even though they've raised their kids almost, and then here I come. My mother was young. She could not take the responsibility on of a newborn, let alone a child altogether. As I was raised, I grew up in a small town in Iowa, and, I was the only person of color there besides my family. Or people that were, relatives, things like that. And I went through a lot of racial discrimination. I went through a lot of situations that I felt that I did not understand at a very, very, very young age. Now, at a very young age, I felt that I had been here before. And I would have dreams and I would have deja vu. Now, I can remember this happening all the way back to 2 years old. I can remember things that happened to me before that I was able to walk, before I was able to use the bathroom. And at first I thought these things that were happening to me was maybe I had a imbalance. Maybe, maybe there's something wrong with me. I always thought that. I said, what is wrong with me? But while living in this small town, my great-grandparents would get nice, elegant houses. And I would wonder, I'd be like, why? These houses were big and beautiful, as if we were rich. And I would always say, why do we get these big, nice, beautiful houses? But I wasn't complaining, I thought that, it was luxurious to me. I'm a little kid. But later in life, I'm going to fast forward to, about, I'll say 15 to 20 years ago, I found out that these places, we lived in a ex-funeral home. A couple of them are ex-funeral homes, and these were distressed properties that we would move into. That's why we were getting them at dirt cheap, okay, basically, because no one else would deal with that. Now, I feel as though I was or have been a channel for a very, very, very long time, and it's deeper than that. I feel as though I walked this earth before this earth knew itself. I feel as though I resided beside very powerful seers, very powerful prophets. And when I lived in these houses, I would experience, as they call it, paranormal activity. Now, these spirits would communicate with me, and they would hover around me as to protect me. I feel as though I tamed them in a way to where they understood me and they would comfort me as I went through depression at a very, very, very young age when I shouldn't have known what depression was. um, I would have, I would be laying in my bed and I would feel someone sit on my bed. I would feel someone rub my back and basically tell me everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna make it. It's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna work out for you. And I would see things before they would happen. And all this is happening to me. I'm seeing spirits. I see things before they happen. I know what people are thinking. It's like you could be sitting there and quiet and not say anything to me, and I'm hearing your mind. Now, when you're a child, you are thinking to yourself, okay, I'm crazy. So I always enjoyed shows like Amazing Stories. I always enjoyed paranormal movies, things like that. And one night I was laying in my bed. I fast forward to when I was 14 years old. And my great grandmother, she came in my room and she told me, she said, you're going to grow up. You're going to be something special. You're going to have kids. You're going to have a husband. You're going to, you're going to live your life. You're going to be something special. And I'm sorry, you guys, I get caught up and want to cry about that because she raised me and I lost her to brain cancer. So, I was laying in my bed one night or actually, it was back when the New Kids on the Block were very popular, things like that. And I was in my room listening to the New Kids on the Block and things like that, having a good time as a teenager. And someone, and it was not my great grandmother, you guys. She came, she opened my door, she said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I'm fine." I said, I'm all right. Being your average teenager, like, why are you in my room? Why are you bothering me right now? Not understanding the whole picture of what's really going on right now. So, she opens my door and she asks me, "Do I need anything to drink? Am I okay? Honey, how you doing?" Now, the whole time, you guys, and I got to get a Kleenex here because I'm having an emotional moment here. Now, the whole time that she's talking to me, she's on the couch in the living room asleep. I look out the door and I hear her, and as this vision is speaking to me, I hear her snoring. Now, and after she had said that to me and shut my door, I went real fast and opened the door. And how can you move that fast and be asleep that fast? So that scared me. So that night I went to sleep and I had this dream that I was in a church and I was walking down the aisle and there was a coffin at the end of this aisle in this church. I walked up to it and it was her laying there. I ignored it for a few days, but there was a day when she had kept me home because she needed me to go to the store with her. Now, I was old enough to help, do things, and, hey, what was I to do? She was my mama, So, she was in the laundry room, and she fell. That's what started it all. It was a chain reaction. She was in the hospital, and I didn't think it was anything that serious. I thought maybe, she had just overworked herself because she used to like to do a lot of things, and she did too much. Everybody told her, "You do too much. You're doing too much. You need to relax." And it was not that she needed to relax. It was that she was suffering for a long, long time from brain cancer. And it was getting to the point to where it was painful, and she didn't want to tell anybody that she was sick. And I know that she had went to the doctor and they told her she had glaucoma, and she was upset about that. But I think there was that one thing, that cancer, she didn't want to tell anybody about because she did not want to scare anyone. So I would wait for that phone to ring, to say, oh, she could come home in the morning, or, she's going to come home, or, hey, she's going to talk to me and say, hey, I'm coming home. Everything's okay. But that never happened. When that phone rang, it was them telling us that they had to send her somewhere to get surgery on her brain that could save her life or not. So she went to this place. They operated on her. But before they did that, I went to go see her, and she didn't even know me. Which killed me. So I was dealing with that. It was a very, very, very hard thing to go through. And she just did not know me. But the one thing that I held on to is that she told me when I was by her bedside that after I said, well, it's me, you don't know me, I'm young, I don't understand the measures of this. She said it's so beautiful. And she was looking ahead like she was looking on another plane. Like, she just said it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I said, what's so beautiful? That I didn't understand anything at that. I was like, oh my goodness. I was just trapped in myself. And now I know what she's talking about. As I got older, I had been associated with my family, that my mom's side of the family. I never knew my dad's side of the family at all. And, I tried to fit in, but I always felt that I wasn't loved as much as everyone else, which, okay, I understand now that the place I'm in, there's reasons for that. And it was just, I never felt as though anyone loved me, so I submitted myself to situations to where it was false love, it was fake love, it was love given to me by people that did not really love me. Everyone used me for one reason or the other. And one time I just got so tired. That whole day I went around and I said my goodbyes to people basically in my own way, but they did not know what I was going to do. I went to Walgreens. Now, this is, now I can kind of stop being emotional as hell right now because this is the funniest stuff. I went to Walgreens and I bought this big bottle of Tylenol PMs. I mean, there's like 500 capsules in this. I don't even know if they stopped selling it or I don't even know. But it was a big ass bottle. And I said, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I went to Walgreens, got that. I went to the convenience store on the corner, got me a 40 of ice 800. when they was selling that. I don't know if they do anymore because I don't drink. And I went back to where I was living, because I was living with a man that basically was just using me because I was young and because I was impressionable. And I sat there and I took these pills. I took them and I took them and I took them. And with each pill I was drinking, I laid down on the floor and I closed my eyes and I just thought to myself that this would be the best thing for everyone. This would be the best thing for me. This would be the best thing just for me to just disappear, because I felt I never existed anyway. So it was probably about 4 p.m. when I laid down on that floor. Now, all the pills that I took, I woke back up at like 1 or 2 p.m. the next day. And I ran to the bathroom and I threw up. I spent 2 days throwing up. I didn't go to the hospital or anything because it was just like, if it was going to happen, it's going to happen. I was still here. After that, I had felt as though that there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason. And then that's when really everything had kicked in and scared me. I was seeing things. I was hearing things. I said, what in the hell is going on? I thought that I was schizophrenic, because I had read about schizophrenia, that they hear things and they see things. Let me get a drink of coffee here. But this had been going on for a long time with me. Ever since I was a baby, like I said, ever since I was very, very, very little. But it had intensified. Now, I will tell you that there are people that are skeptics and non-believers, but I beg to differ, because when we pass away, there is a door that we have to pass through before we go on to where our eternity lies. I made it to that door, but I didn't make it to eternity. It wasn't meant for me at that time. And I was told it was not meant for me. So I got over the sickness from taking all the pills and, drinking the alcohol and everything. And I kind of just went into hermit mode and stayed in the house. And I was seeing things before it happened, Like I said, I was with someone that was cheating on me and that lied to me and told me, oh, I love you, as I was searching for love. I was lied to. Even though that I was looking for the comfort of someone to help me, because there was no one helped me ever. I always had to get everything on my own. I never had that family support, except with my great grandmother, and she had passed away, and people had turned against me because they felt it was my fault that she had brain cancer. And then it was not my fault. I could not help that. But it was blamed on me, and I was kicked out of my home. Everything was taken away from me. I was taken away from my friends and everything that I knew, that I was comfortable with. But after that situation of me trying that, I turned into this channel, this vessel that I did not understand. So I continued to go through life. I tried to ignore it. and go on and try to fit in and blend in with everyone else. But I never fit in. I never fit in with anybody. I never was, for the things that I did, I always was a soft-hearted person. I always turned the other cheek even though I was getting hurt. So fast forward to when I thought I had found love with someone. And I thought this was really the love that I had been looking for, with no obligation, with total understanding, total openness. But it was not. I put my heart and soul into someone. I fought for this person because, and I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything, because we've all been through some shit. He was married. Well, he got married on me, actually. What had happened was I had got with him. He had a woman. He broke up with that woman, and I thought that we were going to be together. But he went on to marry some other woman, which crushed me. But at the same time, my dumb ass, I kept holding on. I kept holding on. Then finally one day he comes to me and says, let's move in together. And I'm young and dumb. And I said, okay, yeah, this is what I've always wanted, and I felt as though I won. Then came the day I married this man on my birthday, because I felt like this was a gift. I felt like this was what I had always been searching for, looking for. I had 2 kids with this man that are now 8 and 10 years old. And I love them so much. They're my babies. They're my family. They're my understanding. They're my go-to. They're my aces. I love them so much, y'all, but they drive me crazy. They drive me crazy, but I love them. I love them to death. Because I see so much of myself in them, and I try to love them. And I know that I love them to the utmost, because I don't want them to feel as I did. But this man was mentally and emotionally abusing me. At times he would get physically abusive. I would break up, but I would just keep going back to him and back to him and back to him, to the point of where it became routine. And I lost who I had gained that power in before I had met this man. So I had my kids. And things started going downhill from there. It got worse. When I thought our babies would hold this relationship together, it got worse. I mean, he would drink excessively. And I found myself in a spot to where I was drinking excessively with him to try to be on that level. But I didn't realize that I was losing myself, my self-worth, my belief, my everything. Then one day I turned to tarot. And I was watching it. And there's this specific tarot reader. I don't want to say her name because she may not want that, so I'm not going to do that. But it's much love to her, because she brought me out of a spot of where I started understanding why I was feeling certain things, and she was on point now. And honestly, I have not seen her on YouTube in a long time. maybe here and there I might. But she got me interested in finding out what my purpose was and who I was as a person and what was going on around me. And I said, this resonates so much, because I had always been scared of that. I had always been scared of tarot, and I was taught to be scared of that. I had been around the Catholic faith, the Apostolic faith, the Baptist, the Mormon, you name it, religions, okay? All walks of life. And this one woman put me in a zone to where I had to figure out what was going on. Who am I? Because I got to be somebody really special, because there are things that I could have died. There are situations I put myself into where it's like, what in the world? But I'm still here. So I'm dealing with life and how it is. I'm going through all this abuse. I'm raising kids, and working, and I'm surrounding myself with people with this negative energy they're projecting on me. And I did not realize that I was that empathic, and I was so heightened to where I could communicate beyond the veil. As for instance, when people pass, that I know they come and they see me first. That was something that I had to get used to, and I'm used to it now. It does not bother me. It doesn't bother me, no. Because I understand it's a scary thing, and I understand that you want to know a familiar before you go all the way. Sometimes you get stuck in purgatory and you don't go all the way, but before you do, you need help. And I was the one that they would come to for help. And it was getting more heightened. And I just said, you know what? This is just my purpose. This is what it is. And I stopped being scared. I stopped being scared, and I started being more open, and more things were flooding into me. More things. March 17th of 2021, I lost my mother. My mother had been in prison for 18 years, and she got out when I got pregnant with my daughter, my first child. And I felt like that was everything, because I had never had my mother around like that. My mother was out of prison for 10 years, and she passed away in her apartment, in her favorite chair. And they called me and they said that your mom had died, and I couldn't believe it. But when I went down to her apartment, she was still in her chair. And I went over to her and I held her hand, and I just got on my knee and I just bowed my head, because I know she was there behind me. And I felt her hand on my shoulder when I was doing it. And I heard her saying, "Baby, it's okay. It's okay. We all got to go." And before then, she was telling me things like, now if something happens to me, Mary, this and this and this and that. And I said, you know what? I don't want to hear that. And there's nothing that's going to happen to you. But at the same time, she told me there was children in her bedroom one night, jumping on her bed. She called me. She said there were kids in my bedroom jumping on my bed. And the first thing that come to mind, because I've studied, parapsychology, things like that now. And children are the omen of death. because it's bringing you back to the realization of you being young at heart and having that youthful spirit that you will have once you pass over. And I didn't want to say anything about it. I wanted to ignore the fact. So about a year later, she passed. And like I said, I got on my knee and I held her hand, and I was like, Mom, oh Mom. I'm like, I can't believe this, and I was trying to hold it together. This was the second time in my life I lost a mother. But this time it was different. It was to where I was at peace with it, and that I knew that she was there. Now, my family, I don't know. I had to cut myself off from them, and I don't want to bring them up in this. But me and my mother had a relationship that was building over time, because we never really had a relationship. I was there for my mother, and my family tried to act like I was not when I was. Whatever the situation is, that's done and over. That's water under the bridge. But from the things that I had been through with my mother, it was hard for me to conduct a relationship, but I was trying so hard. And I loved my mother because she gave me life. And it was just that family didn't understand. They didn't know what was going on. They had one idea of it, and I had my take on it, which was my visual feelings take that was really happening. Now, ever since my mother passed away, I feel her. She has never left me, and she's always with me daily. I always hear her. And when I was in this, I would talk to my mom about this relationship, this marriage. And she told me, she said, oh, honey, when she was here on this earthly realm, she told me, oh, honey, oh, it's going to be okay. Just work it out. Everything's going to be fine. I said, Mom, this is not going to work out. This is something that is way beyond working out, Mom. You don't understand. You don't understand. And I used to just tell her that. She didn't know the depth of what really was going on, because I did not want to get her upset like that. But when she passed on, she saw the truth. And day after day, I would sit there, and God, my guides, my mother, my ancestors told me, go now, get out of here. This is not, get out of here. And it got to the point, you guys, to where I had it was my mother, I know, but there was a shadow person in that house that was watching me at night. It would stand over me when I was laying in my bed, and it would stand in my doorway and stare at me all night until the morning broke. Now, the last day I was there, it was so strong in me. I feel like the whole house filled up and said, get out now. This is your final warning. After this, I'm not going to warn you no more. I'm telling you now to get out. It's okay if you could just grab clothes, a few things, get out now. And that's how it sounded. So I'm like, okay. Y'all, I laugh at that because you're okay. I'm listening. I'm listening because this is real. This is real time. This is happening. I'm hearing this. So I got my things, and I got my child, my baby's things, and I got them, and I got in my car, and I left. I left. And I never looked back. I went to a hotel, and I paid for a hotel for a couple nights for us, just to, have somewhere to go, because like I said, I don't, my family, it's just that they're not the type that I depend on, because they talk about you. And that's how I feel about them. And don't care how anybody perceives or takes that. Don't care who sees this. And I'm the outcast anyway. So I went to a hotel, spent a couple nights. God protected my money that I had. And I was like, I said, the couple days that I was in the hotel, I said, I need an apartment. I need a place to go with my kids. I can't keep living in a hotel with my kids now. That's not going to make any sense. So I was looking in the apartment listings, and at the time I wasn't working because I was a stay-at-home mom, and I was homeschooling my kids, which I homeschool my kids because I feel that they're safer around me. So I called this man, and I explained everything to him, and he said, if you want to come look at the place, you could come look at the place, and if you want it, you can get it. But you just got to come and look at it. And I said, okay. I told the kids, I said, you guys, we finally might have an apartment. Because we went and looked at apartments and stuff that were just, I couldn't live with my kids in these conditions. I couldn't do it. So I just stayed in a hotel, But this place was meant for me. When I walked up to this door and it was open for me, I felt a relief. I felt as though something was like, this is it. I heard my mom say, baby, now, here you go. Now, what you gonna do, baby? What you gonna do? You gonna stay here? What you gonna do? You gonna go back? You know better than that. This is a gift from God, baby. What you gonna do? So me and my kids, we moved in. I gave the man, I paid my rent up to December. We just got used to living, on our own. It's a beautiful thing. Now, I had started my YouTube channel way before I had moved here. And I had left that situation. But one night something told me, you know what, get on YouTube and continue what you was doing before you left that house. There were evil entities in that house, and plus some people don't know that they're working for the devil. I was being held back. And that one night that I had got on YouTube and I posted one of my tarot readings, I never had a response like that before. I never had people liking and watching, and I said, wow. So I kept going with it, and now I'm here and I'm happy. I might not be at 1,000 subscribers. I don't care. I'm happy for who is resonating with me and who is gravitating around me. When I moved into this place, I found guardian angels. There's one that hangs outside of my door, my front porch. I never took it down. There is a guardian angel. It's like a cup mat. That's what I call it because I can't think of nothing right now. It has a guardian angel. I found this piece, and it's rock, and it says, "So love is to choose." Upstairs in my children's room, There was something on the closet. It said, change is good. There was a sticker picture on the wall with a door that was open to heaven. Now, this is for real, y'all. Now, I said, whoa. I said, and whoever lived here before me, they were into the same thing that I was. They were studying tarot. And I said, this is where I'm supposed to be. I sat in the middle of my living room floor, which was empty. I had nothing in it at the time. And I cried. Because I had never seen such miraculous... I had never seen this in my life. So the whole time I was being told to leave, to go, I was being led here. Now, you guys might think I'm a little crazy, which no, I'm not crazy. People that I watch, there's this younger man, he goes around to the stars and he helps them communicate with passed on loved ones and things like that. And he gives me inspiration to know that there are people out here that are a little different. I don't feel that I'm from here. I feel like I am from a galactic universe filled with seers and knowers and powerful prophetess. At first I called myself Empress Ice, but I feel as though I'm more powerful than that. I feel as though I hold a power that is a force to be reckoned with. And I feel as though I want to give out all the love and everything before I leave this earthly realm and go back to my galaxy, to where my real family is, to where I know that I'm loved and accepted for who I am. But it's just kind of hard sometimes because, you know, I deal with things from day to day. You know, I had to get a job in which I was taking care of myself. Nobody was ever taking care of me. You know, we're going to get that off the record. I don't care who they were, husband, boyfriend, wouldn't take care of me. I was working and taking care of myself. I always have, because I knew I'm the only one that I have. Okay. So everything that I accumulated was mine. I worked for it. But it's hard because, you know, it's hard when I want to work for the Lord. I want to give messages out. I want to work. I want to do that. That is my calling, and I know what it is now. These jobs we give our energy to that don't appreciate us, and knowing that you have responsibilities, kids, bills, but they don't care. They just want you to come to work and work your ass off for a little bit of nothing. And that's what I'm basically doing, but I'm making it. I'm pinching by. God is making sure that I am taken care of as his child, and he holds me. He holds me. I'm very spoiled by him. But also I am, as you say, disciplined by him also. He disciplines me in a way to where he's like, you need to find what you're going to do. And I found what I'm going to do, and he helps me, and he gives me insight on things that people don't know and they need to know. And that's why I'm here for you. So I just wanted to drop this video this morning, this lovely, beautiful Sunday morning, to let you guys know that this is real with me. I'm not someone that just came along and think that I can read tarot, think that I see things and hear things and feel things. No. This is something for which is my destiny that I have to walk in, that I'm meant to walk in. I'm meant to help people. I'm meant to help people go to the other side and feel comfortable with that transition. I'm meant to lead people from being astray. I'm not scared anymore. So I know this was a long video, but I wanted you to get to know me as Priestess Ice, as I have adopted that name. And I want to help you. If you feel, I feel like this video is going to help a few people. And I want to share my energy, not to be depleted by the naysayers, the people that don't believe. All you need is you to believe, and then you can carry on from there. And that's why I walk in my strength. I walk in faith and not by sight, not by earthly sight. I am someone that is very, 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 very in tune. And I try to tell people that, and I'm not just saying that. It's something more that some people don't see. But I'm here to tell you that it's real. And that if you've lost someone and you feel like you've lost them forever, they're there and you hear them. But sometimes you think that you're crazy and you just, no, that can't be happening. No. Yes, it is. Just listen. Just listen. I stand on one accord with the Lord. When I go to sleep at night, my little soul goes and sits next to him. Always has traveled to him. That's my Father. So I just wanted you guys to know a little bit about me and where I came from. For me to be here now trying to help people, trying to get messages across. Yes, I cuss. Yes, I do. And he knows that I do. And he be like, Mary, I think he just kicks back and he just watches me. And he's like, well, you know what? As long as you getting something across, honey. Now, I don't cuss all the time, but that's just me. I can't be anybody else but me. And he appreciates that. And he embraces me. And he wants me to embrace each and every one of you if you are in my family here. My soul tribe here on YouTube, my following, my channel. You are my family, you are my friends. And we will be on one accord and one understanding. And when it comes to that day of where we have to reckon and go through that door, we will be on one accord that we understand where we're going. And that our being must be uplifted and given to the Lord to help on this earthly realm. We must learn and absorb the lessons, even though they may be brutal, even though it may seem that we are outcasted, that we are loved. Regardless, we are love and abundant in God's love. And those that have passed on before us that loved us and continue to love us. So that was my truth, my confessional. And I love you guys. And have a wonderful Sunday, lovely Sunday. God is good. God bless you. And much love from here. Bye-bye.